and out the big toe. Okay?
Theory.
In theory, yes.
That's what
In an
should
ideal
happen. In an
world.
ideal world.
In an ideal world, that would be what's happening. It doesn't happen very often,
Right.
actually, no. And,
Bless you.
bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, so, any questions about that? Okay, so what happens to you when you are taking in the gait pattern is this, is that, there's a whole bunch of things. And I'll go through this again when we get to, when we get up to psoas, working psoas, the hip flexors and all that. But what is supposed to happen is this, is that I weight bear on one side, I bend my knee on the other side, right? I bend my knee, I weight bear here, I bring my heel to strike. It's an extension coming out of my hip flexor here. I come through, I go to the outside. This leg is straight yet until I get to on my full foot, which now takes my weight bearing to this side. I now bend my knee, okay? I now bend my knee. My sacrum also bends, side bends to that side. I bring this foot out, hit the heel, come to the outside, and come around and come through the foot. So there's so many parts to this, right? There has to be weight bearing right. There has to be dissociation of my SI joints. There has to be working of my psoas hip flexor. Then I have to be able to get into my foot, work my way around the whole foot, and then come out the big toe. Okay?
Whew.
Okay, easy peasy. Did we see anybody walk okay?
No.
We didn't. It is, you know, this is the thing is that we are, I don't know about with what's going on in the world at this time, whether we're actually going to make it or not, but the deal, seriously, is that I personally think that us going upright, we're still in an evolution because we are vulnerable. If I'm just talking structurally and body working, I'm not even talking about, you know, disease and wars and the rest of that. I'm talking about when we went upright, and who has spinal curves that really work? Who has a sacrum that's in the right place, and SI joints that are working correctly, and spine that doesn't have lockings and necks, you know, holding up heads and stuff? Nobody, you know, it's like very rarely is this design working, actually. It's what's going to keep us all doing well for many
Yes, exactly.
you know?
Amen
Because
for
it
that.
doesn't really work well to be upright, you know? It doesn't really work well for us to be upright, you know? So, all right. So we're going to say this, but I'm not as attached to you about this part with the cuboid and the navicular and stuff. This is what I told you. Primary, remember I just told this to you. If your cuboid is low, then the cuboid's fault is making your iliac, your hip bone posterior. I just told this to you. If you have an anterior iliac, then your low cuboid is secondary. So if I have a posterior iliac, I got to go make sure that that cuboid is up, okay? I got to go make sure if I'm posterior that I'm okay in that cuboid, okay? Cuboid mobility depends on the lateral chain. We said that as well because it's directly attached to it, okay? Ligaments, the cuboid, also ligaments to the calcaneus. And the fourth and fifth metatarsals, meaning the rays. The metatarsals are the toes, okay? So, and we said this as well. This is all stuff that I've said. On the top of the foot, the dorsal surface, the cuboid looks 1/3 and the navicular looks 2/3. On the plantar surface, it's 50-50 for both of them, okay? So, we saw all of this. Not telling you anything you don't know. A cuboid and lesion is still physiological. A navicular and lesion, high or low, is non-physiological without respect to axis. Don't even worry about this, okay? Don't even worry about that, okay? Good. Here's my calcaneus. Here's my beautiful calcaneus. This is us looking at a view from top to bottom, okay? This is that view. And what we're looking at is the surface of the talus over here. We're looking at that. We're looking at another piece of the ligament to the talus, okay? This is where the cuboid is going, and this is where my, gosh, I can't even tell you. This is where another one of the talus. So there's 3 ligaments from the talus. My head just went blank for a moment there, I'm so sorry. So you have these 3 ligaments from the talus onto the cuboid, because don't forget, the tibia is meeting the talus, and the talus is meeting the cuboid. So the weight-bearing part is there, right? So you have these 3 ligaments, and then what will happen is, I definitely going to show you a really nice way to get those free. Because when I hold the calcaneus, I should be able to actually have some movement in the calcaneus. We're going to see who has any. Probably not, right? Probably not. And then, okay, so now we get into a little bit more of showing the retinaculum, showing how the tendons are coming through, the peroneals are coming around, and we have, tendons and attachments all through it. We have the plantar surface of the foot, the plantar fascia of the foot attaching here on the metatarsals and here on the calcaneus. My belief, again, is that you have both the posterior chain and the Achilles tendon really coming around and attaching. It just does fascially. Fascially, things are merging together. So you got to stop thinking about I have this, and it's by itself. It's a part of systems. We are really a part of systems, and we are riddled with them. We're just filled with systems, and when I stop looking at myself as a continuity, as something that has continuity, that's when I start chopping things up, and I can't get true healing or true whatever going,
Resolution.
Okay. There's just looking at it from, in a cadaver, that's all. There's your plantar fascia in the cadaver, and there's underneath it, that's the fascia that's been actually cut, and then there's the knee. So let's do some feet stuff, huh?
All right.
Okay, stay, yeah. Okay.